Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today I'm going to show you how I was able to fit everything back in the box just barely. This is pretty standard for Garfield games. Everything is jammed in here. There is not much space for any freedom of other than using the baggies. I attempted to use these little mini super stackers, which you've probably seen in a lot of my videos, come in very handy. I was actually separating out each individual player color into one of these and gave them everything they needed so I could just hand that out. I essentially just moved all that stuff into baggies because those took up a little bit too much room and I couldn't get everything in here without a huge amount of lid lift. But everything's in here now. There's no lid lift and not much room for anything else. So, rule book, just a quick point to note, if you did get the promo tile set, which is just 6 tiles, from the Kickstarter, make sure you don't throw away the packaging because the packaging explains the tiles in there. So you'll want to keep that handy. All right, this is the bag that was provided by the game, and I went ahead and just put the resources in there. You will have to, during setup, pull out 10 of each type. That's basically to keep you from not having, you want to have a certain amount in your supply. So you pull out that and then you randomly draw the rest and then you dump all the rest out into the supply. So, but this seemed like just as good a thing as any to store them in. I had these already. I have a collection of these real thin fabric bags. I can put a link in the description below if you're interested. They came from Amazon, I'm pretty sure, but they come in handy for stuff like this. It fits the theme. But all my money and all of my food tokens are in here. I may not even end up using these. I have other metal coins from other Garfield games that I'll probably use, and I have food resource tokens from like Meeple Source and places like that that I could always pull out and use as well if I wanted everything to be fancy. And then everything else is basically here in piles. One thing that did fit very nicely is along the side here, if you shove everything into one side or one corner, are all the player reference boards. So these are exactly the same thickness as the box is tall and fit in when all stacked together perfectly right there. So that was a nice spot for them. I have all of my, again, individual player baggies pulled out, and so I can just hand a baggie to an individual player. All right, here's, you want to be blue, here's everything you need. I did go find 2 kind of slightly smaller baggies. Even though I hate baggies and try not to use them in my storage solutions, I don't ever throw them away. The other ones were a little bit taller than this, so they'll still work, but I tried to minimize the size of these baggies as much as possible. And then I have a little itty bitty teeny tiny baggie for these 2 guys that you'd use for lower player counts and the 2 guys that sit on the ultra track. You want to keep them separate. And then everything else in here is pretty self-explanatory. The rest of these baggies came in the game. So this is a baggie of just the middle tiles for the Torah track. And then I have all of the gold tiles, the upper level tiles, the 3 Ezra and Nehemiah and the 3rd guy tile for level 1 down there, as well as the big square tiles for your player board. Then all the rest of the tiles are in here. They just barely fit into there. And if you put the 2 big ones on one side and the 2 skinny ones on the other and lay them down, they just barely fit in there and are able to close the lid. I almost considered not having any of these tiles be in baggies. You could go that route. It just feels like when you open up the box, if it's been traveling, they might just be scattered and kind of make a mess. Then I just have the regular size cards in one baggie, the mini Euro size cards in one baggie, this overlay tile right here. Next it is the first player marker, and that's pretty much it. I mean, everything under here is just gonna be the board, and then all of the individual player boards. And on the bottom, I guess I could probably pull this out. It would make the most sense. This is the solo board on top. So we'll probably do that here as you watch me put it back away. This way, everything kind of, if stuff needs less height, you can stick it over here on this side, like these cards. You can tuck in their excess right there. Tuck in this guy's excess right there. But for the most part, everything has a spot, has space. Put these right here. and then we'll just kind of fill in. You're trying to lay all this stuff as flat as possible so that you have room for your money bag, food bag, and where are we going to stick you? Right there. To just kind of shuffle them out a little bit, lay them as flat as possible, and shuffle this guy out. Lay it as flat as possible. So there's no set way. Things need to go back in there. Just kind of move everything around. And then the rule book does fit in so that it fits to the left of these boards that stand up exactly as tall as the box lid does. But that's in there. It's not perfect. I stacked a bunch of stuff in my box lid, but it works. Things will settle down. You know, there's a few spots there that if you just kind of give it a little shake, and then you should be fine setting stuff on top without worrying about things poking up through the box and things like that. So anyways, there you go. There's your reboxing solution for Ezra and Nehemiah. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.